What is going on, everybody? It's the Hook Cam back again with another film breakdown. I am on the spot today with these videos. I am just pumping them out like it's my job. Recently, as in a couple hours ago, Nick Foles traded to the Chicago Bears for a fourth rounder. Really quick thoughts on this. I think it was a win-win for both sides. I think it was time for Foles to move on after his quick stint in Jacksonville. Clearly it didn't work out when they find their guy, Gardner Minshew, who's going to be a much, much cheaper option. Chicago Bears looking for a quarterback, looking for somebody who could fit into that system, and I think that Nick Foles will fit into that system. Now, really quickly before I dive into this video, if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on this video, and also a quick thank you and hit that subscribe button to Jackson Kruger Sports if you haven't already. Like I say in every video, great person, great human being, gets content out quicker than anybody I've ever seen. Trying to beat him to the punch on this one. Who knows if I will? Although it's going to end up going on his channel anyway, so it don't matter. But if you've already subscribed to his channel, please subscribe to my channel, The Hook Cam. I've said enough about that. Let's dive into this video. A couple of things that I really like about Mr. Nick Foles. First and foremost, I really do like his deep ball. And for some reason, he always manages to get this ball on the spot where it needs to be. This throw is a great example. This is from week 1 against the Chiefs this year. Really simple, like flood concept that the Chiefs managed to mess up. It looks like they're trying to roll into a cover 1. I'm not 100% sure. It could be a 2. Not entirely sure. Either way, we get some separation created here with our number 1 receiver. And this throw from Foles, when we look at it, I mean, we got pressure in our face. We got 2 guys closing in on us right here. He's still in a decent position, gets this ball up and over. He's got this beautiful rainbow that he gets on balls, and he just is able to drop them right in the bucket, right where it needs to be. I think that his deep ball ability is sneaky good. Now, moving on to this next game against the Colts. This is later in the season, obviously, because he suffered a broken collarbone. We got a pretty clear cover 1 right here, right? We're going to be manned up basically everywhere. I do believe that they drop a backer, and he's going to take this shallow route. And Foles, the one thing I like about him is that he waits, and he's got great patience in the pocket, right? He steps up. He's waiting for this cat to break on his route and for it to clear the backer. He does so stepping up into the pocket, and that's a lot more difficult than what would meet the eye, right? Because when you're in there, you got bodies all over the place. You got a ton of pass rushers who are getting their arms out, ready to swat that ball away. Great job with his patience getting this ball out, putting it in a good spot for his receiver to take it the rest of the way. And that's one of the things that I think that he really excelled in Jacksonville. Well, in Jacksonville and really in Philadelphia, I should say, is his patience in the pocket and his ability to get his deep ball on the money. Those were the 2 big things. I'm going to hit on one more thing in a second. This, to me, is just his processor, right? And when I say his processor, it's his ability to read a defense. Now, this coverage-wise, I think it's a cover 6 because we've got this cat right here, this corner, who's really in a bind right now because he could come up on this flat, which looks like what he's trying to do. And then we have our quarter, and our half with our safeties. Now, this ball right here, he's going to end up kind of running a comeback, just stemming that route at the top and breaking it down. Really good ball on this. Really, really good ball. The other thing is that this is a tight window to throw this rock into, right? As this receiver's coming up, you got to have the right anticipation, the right amount of velo on this ball to get this thing in a good spot. Yeah, it probably could be a little bit higher so we can catch and run on this, but all in all, we get the first down, and that's what matters in that situation. Now, turning back the clock a little bit, taking a look at where was Nick Foles really, really successful? What was he doing in Philadelphia? And how is that going to translate over to Chicago? Now, a couple of things stuck out to me when I watched a little bit of his Philadelphia film. Number 1, they're consistently in 3-by-1. And what I mean by 3-by-1 is we've got our 3 receivers right here and then our 1 receiver at the top. So 3-by-1. Okay. Now, what that does to a defense, you're sitting there going, Cam, what does that even mean? How the hell does that even affect what's going on? You put defenses in a bind and you create isolation. And that's one thing that I really noticed Nick Foles did a really good job of, is taking advantage of receivers that were isolated. He does a really good job when receivers that he works with are able to create enough separation for him to get a ball into a tight spot. In this situation with the Bears, it's pretty straight up that we got just straight up cover 1. We're going to get ISO'd on the backside with Alshon Jeffrey. Whether you like it or not, that's the matchup that we have. And again, it goes back to the decision-making of Nick Foles. I love the decision that he makes on this. I love where he puts the ball. It's high for his guy to get it. Yes, you don't want to go high over the middle. It should be a little bit lower of a ball, but all in all, it gets there. Middle's cleared out. And again, it's the decision-making. He likes to really, really pick that isolated side. Nick Foles is a guy who's always going to take his matchups, in my opinion. Another situation here, we got a 3rd down and long, and we'd start, again, talking about that processor and that patience in the pocket. A lot of times, these routes are going to take time to clear, and that's what happens here. Our linebacker here is going to work out to get in front of number 3. He presses that as much as he can, but he doesn't keep sinking, right? That's one of your friends when you're running that middle of the field players. You have to keep dropping. You have to get depth, where our receiver drops right into the zone, the hole in the zone right there, and Foles has a great patience on it, gets that ball out there for a big-time first down. It's weird how some quarterbacks have that clutch gene, and I hate to call it that because it's so cliche, but that's really what it is. It's the ability to make good decisions when you're under pressure, and we can see right here, he's looking at this safety, trying to freeze that safety, not giving any hints to where we're going. He comes back to that in route, and that's probably his 2nd or 3rd option. It's really a hunt. That's the route that he's throwing there. It's more of a hunt route where he's replacing right over the ball, and that's where I saw Nick Foles excel when he was in Philadelphia, when they were spreading everything out, when he was able to pick his matchups, when the guys were lining up in man and really forcing him to dink and dunk. And when you think back to that Super Bowl against the Patriots, Nick Foles was on the money with everything he was throwing. And it was because Patricia wanted to drop 8 and let Nick Foles pick him apart, or let Nick Foles make a mistake in Patricia's mind. Well, Nick Foles wasn't going to make a mistake that day. He was on the spot, and that continued for his time in Philadelphia. I would imagine if he didn't get injured in Jacksonville, it would have carried on over there too. Now, looking at Chicago, what they have right now with Mitch Trubisky, where is he flawed? I see all over Twitter sometimes that he can't throw to his left, and it's really hard to find film where he doesn't mess that up. He consistently messes up throwing to his left. Blows my mind that this happens in the NFL. But we can see here off of the play action, we're going to get a little wheel out of one of our receivers in this bunch right here. Number 18 is going to run kind of a wheel across the formation. Trubisky, he's got space. He has zero excuse to miss this pass, right? He's got no defenders within, 10 yards who are a serious threat on this. He's got to put it on a line, put it on your receiver, give him some room to run, and he just skies this thing. He skies it over his receiver's head, gives him no chance on it, and that is going to kill. That's going to kill chances. If you can't throw to your left, like we've seen multiple times from Mitch Trubisky, then we're going to have a problem. Now, the other thing that I think he's not the best at, and I don't want to just rip on Mitch Trubisky for the rest of this video, but his processor just isn't there when it comes to being able to break down coverages mid-play, and that's not easy to do. Let's not sit here and act like all of us who are watching this could do that, because that's just not how it is. I would get smoked if I was trying to do this. This takes weeks and weeks and years of practice, right? But in this situation, we're staring down our number one receiver over here. Well, guess what? We got coverage right there. We're pressed. He's blanketed. We got to come off that. We have to come and look at our number 2 and 3 options, because right now this is covered up. There's no chance that ball is going in there. We got to come off it right now. Instead, he stares it down. He's trying to force it in there. Thank God that ball wasn't thrown, because it probably was going to be picked. Now, in this situation, when we're on the goal line situations are very, very difficult. Everything's compressed. Everything's smashed together. You have to make quick decisions, and they have to be the right decisions, and you need to make them right now. That's why quarterbacks like Tom Brady, like Aaron Rodgers, why those guys Mahomes are so great, because they're great processing, right? As soon as that ball snapped, they know exactly what the defense is going to be in. They know what they're going to roll in, and they know if they're wrong about something, I can always check this ball down. So in this situation, Mitch Trubisky is going to try and force this ball into his number one receiver at the bottom, who's running a corner. Now, I don't hate that. I think that this call isn't bad, but where are we throwing this ball? This ball is behind him. It's nowhere near where this receiver is going to end up. If we are going to throw this ball, it needs to be thrown down and away, right over here. If you're going to throw it shallow, it's got to be down and away to the bottom of the goal line. Or you have to throw it to the back of the end zone high where only your guy can get it. Instead, he throws this thing to the middle, and it looks like it skips off the N in Vikings. Just a bad ball from Mitch, and I think that his confidence was really shattered by the end of this season because of injuries, and I'm sure that things were tough in wherever in conference rooms and meeting rooms. I'm sure that it was tough, and I feel bad for the kid. But all in all, he wasn't performing to where the Bears wanted him. And whether they're going to start Foles right off the bat or have a quarterback competition, obviously I wish the best best for Mitch Trubisky. I have nothing against him. This is just an evaluation from what I saw. Now, a little bit of where I think Nick Foles can excel in the Chicago Bears offense. Foles is great for some reason running RPO, right? And not him actually running the rock, but an RPO where he has the ability to hand this thing off or give it, hand this thing off or throw it. So in this situation, here's our read guy, this backer right here, and we're going to run a slant with our number 3 receiver. So we can see right off the bat, Trubisky, he's going to snap the rock, and he's staring right at that backer. Boom. Okay, well, we know that he just took 3 steps up. We're going to hit this slant right behind him. Got to get it out quick and got to throw it at an awkward angle. That's fine. Right, and I think that as they go later into the season with the Bears, they really got away from that. And that hits right into what Nick Foles can do. For some reason, I don't know why, but he's great at being able to read an RPO, being able to see where that backer is going to be and getting that ball off in an awkward window or an awkward angle for his arm. The other thing that Nick Foles is very, very good at is off the play action. And a lot of times because he can get that deep ball going. And in this situation, again, something that I think the Bears got away from is their play action. And they got away from it because they stopped running the rock. Can't run play action if you're not running the rock. So in this situation, this is week 1. They can run play action all they want because there's really no tendencies to them. So we give that quick run action. We have a receiver getting upfield on this vertical. And again, this is right where Nick Foles can hit this ball, right? This actually is not a great ball from Mitch because it's thrown late and it's thrown behind him, right? We can see right here, we can see our receiver, see how he puts on the brakes right there and he's got to come back to it. Not the best ball. Again, I'm assuming that he's running a vertical on this and not running. If he's running a comeback, then this ball's fine. But like I said, this to me is right in Nick Foles' wheelhouse, being able to work off of the play action, being able to keep his mind going and get those deep balls going because I really do think that he throws a beautiful deep ball. And I do think that Nick Foles is going to do well in Chicago. I think that he's going to have some decent success. And I hope, whatever happens to Mitch Trubisky, I wish the best for him. So with all that being said, guys, that's my quick breakdown of this Nick Foles to Chicago trade. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everybody's being safe. Subscribe to Jackson Kruger Sports if you haven't already. Also subscribe to The Hook Cam. That's all I got for you guys today, and I'm sure I'll be back with some more trade news. But until then, you all have a good one and stay safe.